Okay, back on the trail. Helena was a good stop. I got one of the tips replaced on my trekking poles. It had blunted and fallen off, so I did that. And then I got a new tripod for my GoPro. I'm gonna try and do some night time lapses of the stars. And then, got some good food, resupplied, and now it's 6 days to Augusta, if I can keep 21 miles a day. So I also got a new phone case, so hopefully the audio is better, and we can just kind of not have all that background noise of the constant bumps being picked up and every time I move my finger or my hand on the phone case. So right now I'm walking half a mile down the highway to the other side, and then we'll push up into the mountains. So should be good. While I was in town, I stayed at the Montana Inn and Ubered around town quite a bit because everything was kind of spread out. It's the capital, Helena. And so ended up getting some of my Uber drivers because they picked me up several times. But it was a good stay. But I'm glad to be on the trail. My pack's probably 51 pounds just because of all the food, and that'll go down each day. And we got a couple of dry stretches here. For the next 40 miles, water is going to be a little bit more spread out and scarce. So I got to carry more and just kind of be cognizant of that. So should be good though. There might be some unmarked streams that just aren't really showing up on the map. There's the highway. So we've kind of climbed up this forest road, and almost to the top of the hill. So once we get there, we'll be more on the kind of stay up on top. So the huckleberries are back. So far I've done a good job of not stopping and eating them all, but they are starting to look ripe again, at least here. But I'm not going to pay attention to them. I'm going to keep walking. So it's a very mossy part of the forest. Everything has green moss. Here's another old log cabin. There's actually an outhouse here, and what looks like maybe a cellar system here. You can still kind of see the round hole in the outhouse there. And then I imagine some sort of cellar, but pretty cool. Yeah, not gonna speculate, but I do wonder if it's was an old residence or an old Forest Service headquarters or station or something. But we shall keep going. All right, it's 1:20 on Monday, August 25th, And here's our first unmarked water source that luckily other hikers mentioned and have found. So yeah, where there's cattle, it's typically a safe bet that somewhere there's water. But I'm gonna stop for a little 30-minute break, have some lunch. I think I still have like 12 miles left today. But our next water source will be about 10 miles away, and I'll top off all for the night and for tomorrow until I can find another one. So for now, I'll enjoy this nice cold water. So yeah, it's going good. All right, so I did find a stick of pepperoni at the grocery store, and I have my cheese and peanut M&Ms. So yeah, it's a good lunch, and so I'll get eaten and then continue moving. Working hard, fighting those fires. All right, where this fork in the road is, about 0.1 miles down, there should be some water trickling from a pipe. So that'll be where we'll fill up for the night. I said the right, I meant the left. There should be some water up here, so yeah. Well, that's disappointing. Maybe if I sit here long enough, I can get something, but I'm surprised no one updated the comments saying that there's no more water here on the app with the maps. Well, all right, I managed to get some water, but only by unclipping it and pushing down like this. Once it builds up, and then I can get a bit of a trickle. It builds up over like 5-10 minutes and then dies off. The source is back there, which I guess they figured it's time to come drink. But it doesn't look as clean. I did see a little bit of a bucket where this pipe is actually running to, that I could, worst case, have probably dipped my bottle in, but it took me about 25 minutes to fill up all my bottles just by doing this. So yeah, I'd say no longer reliable, and luckily I just have about 1.5 miles that way to my camp, and then there's a new water source about 3.5 miles from where I'll camp tonight, and so I have enough to make it to there. So we just got to be careful. We don't want to pass up any water that we see. All right, it's about a 22-mile day. Felt pretty good. I'm gonna make camp here on this saddle here tonight, and should have a pretty good sunset over that mountain there. The sun's right up there, and then I have a nice view this way as well. So it's about 2.8 miles to the next spring. It's getting low, but there were some comments from a few days ago from other hikers that they were able to still get water out of it, so should have better luck with that one. I have about a gallon tonight, so I can drink pretty much all I want and still make it to that spring. Yeah, I'm gonna have to reinstate my rule of not skipping any water sources. There was one before this dry one that we encountered about 3 miles before, but I figured I would just push on to this one since it was closer to camp and I still had water. But you never know. In the meantime, until it gets more abundant, I'm gonna reinstate that rule for myself. So I'll get camp set up and get some dinner going. All right, just got done with dinner. I tried to eat all my leftover snacks that I am supposed to be eating while hiking, but there are some that I just can't eat all of. I got my strawberry banana kind bar. I'll probably just throw them in my backpack tomorrow to eat while I'm walking. Big bars, Snickers, and peanut butter crunch. I already ate one of the Cliff Builder bars, like protein bars. It's like 20 grams protein. A bunch of other stuff. Butterfinger. Let's see. The Mountain House meal. It's good. It's a good little spread. I've been trying. Now you can probably spend way too much on this junk. I say junk because I don't know how much of a difference it makes, but it adds a little flavoring to water, which is sometimes nice. But this liquid IV stuff and this Cure electrolyte mix, at the end of the day, it's supposedly packed full of vitamins and electrolytes and stuff, and it's supposed to help rehydrate you. You know, it probably does help some, but I still think water is your best bet. That's just my opinion. I mean, mankind's had water for thousands of years. It wasn't until like probably the 1980s that electrolytes started being pushed. So, I mean, I don't know. Like I said, that's just my opinion. But it at the very minimum, it does add some flavoring to, like have a drink mix at the end of the night after a long day of walking. But other than that, I'm gonna try the night time lapse with my GoPro tonight. So in the morning, we'll see how it turns out, and kind of get settled in. All right, got the GoPro set up, got a extra battery pack plugged in so it can go all night, and I'm gonna use my tent as like the focal point as the stars kind of move around over the night sky, so long as the stars are out tonight. So just gotta wait till it gets dark, and we'll see how it turns out. All right, it's a new day. I think that time lapse turned out pretty cool. I'll just keep experimenting with it and try and make them better. There was a wolf that came up. At first, it seemed like in front of my tent initially, and then I almost dozed off again, and came up not as in like close, but was barking. And then, like, right as I was about to doze off again, it sounded like he was behind my tent barking. And then later on, I heard him in the valley with a couple others.
But let's go ahead and get up and get moving.
All right, 7:45, and we're off on the trail. It always takes a little longer if I make breakfast and also just packing things up with this bear bag and all. You have to take everything out and then put the bear bag back in and then kind of pack things around it. So, but hey, you know, yesterday we got started around 9 and did, 22 miles, and so I think 7:45 is a pretty good time. So when I say water's scarce, what I mean is that there's not water on the trail. You'd have to hike down, or there are rivers and stuff, but there sometimes there's some unmarked sources from like cattle troughs and stuff that are a quarter mile, half a mile off the trail, which there'll be some today that I'll have to get. Right now there's a spring about 2.5 miles up ahead that I'll top off for the day, and then there'll be 2 more water sources that I know of before we camp tonight that I'll just top off on. And then tomorrow it gets a little bit more scarce. We'll have to I'll have to study the map some, but there's water out here. It's just you might have to go off trail to get it. So for the next 72 miles, there's not much. So so we'll just be cognizant of that and fill up all our bottles and carry the extra weight. All right, so we made it to Dana Spring. This is what's left. Just a little bit at the bottom, but that'll work. I figured I can either jump down in there, because it's not that deep. I mean, it's deep enough, so maybe not. But I figured I'll make a slip knot with my rope around the neck of my bottles and use my trekking pole to kind of push them down and let them fill up. So we'll see how it works. The problem is it keeps wanting to slide around and slip. So maybe if I go with both. I'm going in. There's a very shallow, rocky area where I won't touch the water. And that's how you get your water. Our next source is probably 10 miles away and off trail. So we'll make this last. In fact, for just 10 miles, I did get quite a bit. So I'll probably drink some because it'll get heavy. Let's close it up. All right, so I just checked. Our next water source is 13 and a half miles away, and at most it's just trickling, kind of like our one yesterday. And that's it till the morning. So pack's a little heavier now with all my water, but you know, I'll probably be grateful for it as the day goes on, and as water becomes a little more scarce. So we just gotta get through this section, and then once we get more closer to the Bob Marshall Wilderness, there'll be more, well, I believe there'll be more abundant streams and rivers. So we'll keep moving and go from there. All right, so I'm gonna stop for lunch right here. It's slow going today. A lot of climbs up the mountains, and it's really rocky. A lot of trees are down, so I have to climb over them as well. You know, but we'll get there. I mean, by this evening I'll get my 21 miles in, and here in about 5 miles there's a junction where it might be half a mile or more down the junction where there's a creek where I can fill up water. And the final source before camp tonight, it's like 7 miles before camp, is supposedly just a trickle. So I might as well, I said last night that I would enact my rule of not passing up water sources. So if there's an actual creek, I'm gonna take it. So, but in the meantime, get some lunch and continue on. Maybe that's where all the smoke I was seeing yesterday was coming from. And the helicopter that I was seeing, and I'm sure there's several others somewhere, you know. But yeah, it's pretty crazy. Those are some steep hills to climb, but we made it. And for now, it's a downhill stretch at least, so I'll take it. All right, so the trail continues behind me that way, but I need to get water. I ran into some southbound section hikers that confirmed that down this Nevada Creek trail, you know, about 3/4 of a mile down, I'd run into a super ice cold stream just bubbling out of the rocks. They got some water there yesterday, so I'm gonna go ahead and top everything off, and from here it's 7 miles from camp and it's 3:43. So I mean, it's gonna be a late night, but you know, it's just a slower day, and sometimes you get some of those. But I'll go ahead and start going down this beautiful valley and get some water. Right, so it's dry here, but supposedly further down is where it starts bubbling out of the rocks. So we'll keep going. All right, there it is. Okay. Oh, nice. I am glad to see a running stream again. It's nice because it'll be dry after this for a bit. All right, heading back up. Finish these last 7 miles. So it'll probably be about 8 o'clock, maybe slightly after, when I get to where I plan to make camp. So yeah, that's all right. I mean, you need water. You can't help what you can't help. So we'll get there. We just came up that valley behind me. So that, now that we got water, now it's 7 miles to camp. So that tacked on 1.4 miles to my 21-mile day. So I mean, we're getting up there. If I get any more water, have to go any more side trails, might as well call it a 24-mile day. So all right, let's climb this hill. If I didn't have 5 more miles, I would love to camp there. That looks really nice. Oh, whew. I'm getting tired. All this weight with the water. We just came up a really steep road that way. So I think I'll still be climbing for a bit after I go down. There's a fire tower up there on Granite Butte. I think we're gonna go right by it, so we'll get a closer up look. There it is. It's pretty cool. So this super awesome couple was actually, I didn't realize this, but you can book and stay in and camp in the fire tower. And so there's a couple up there. Actually, just they live kind of right outside of Darby, Montana, and they told me to come on up and take a look at the place. And then before I left, they gave me 2 beers, one for walking and one for camp tonight. So that it really hit the spot. But yeah, I was very thankful to run into them. Really nice just to be able to chat a little bit, and then kind of be sent off for my final 2 miles with a little treat for dinner tonight. So yeah, here soon I'll make camp and get set up. It's almost 8 o'clock as it is. So yeah, it's been a long day. You know, the scariest thing about these woods that I've encountered so far? The sage grouse. They wait till you're right up on them, and then take off flying, batting their wings. That always make me jump. Because you never expect it. But don't worry. I'll be out of these woods before dark. I'll actually be kind of camping on one of the open hills with kind of the tannish grass on it. So almost there. Just about a little less than a mile and a half. Almost there. 0.9 miles. So I think just around the bend up here. So, whew, what a day. All right, made it to camp for tonight. Carrying a lot of water and having to go find water, and then just the general terrain today has made it a rough day. But you know, I haven't looked at the water too much tomorrow, other than there's a spring 4 miles for the morning. But you know, maybe tomorrow will be better. But you can't have perfect days all the time. So every now and then it's gonna be a hard day. You just gotta power through. So I'm gonna get my tent set up and eat dinner before it gets completely dark. And it's fairly overcast, so I don't know if a night lapse tonight will be very good for seeing the stars, but you know, if it clears up as the night goes on, we'll see. But I'm gonna end my update with this for today, and we'll pick up tomorrow. So that's that.
All right. It's 7 o'clock, so I gotta get moving. I actually slept really well last night. So, yeah, so well that I didn't want to get up this morning. But, gotta go. I think that one water source 3 miles away, I think is the only one for today. So I'll have to make that last until tomorrow morning. Then it's 4 miles to the next one. It's 26 miles total to the next source from this one upcoming. But I can't. Yeah, that's beyond my mileage for a day. So we'll camp just shy of that, and just be sparing with the water.
All right, so Stimple Pass is 1 mile down the road, or the trail here, and I got porta-johns and I think a picnic table, so I'm just gonna make my lunch, or man, I'm still waking up. I'm just gonna make my breakfast there, and utilize those picnic tables. I think I might be blessed with overcast day today. So, I mean, for only having one water source until tomorrow morning, that might be really nice to not have the sun beating down all day on me. And it's fairly cool. I know it's still early in the morning, but hopefully it'll stay that way. Yeah, so I'll continue on, and I'll make breakfast here in just a bit. What luxury. All right, got some picnic tables, so we'll go ahead and take care of some things and then make some breakfast. All right, this is nice. Just gonna take a few minutes and get breakfast and repack things up. The outhouse has a trash can in it, so I'll get rid of all my trash. So every little bit to help with some weight today should make it a little bit less exhausting. But yeah, it's pretty nice. All right, got a little water we'll top off for today. My pack will be a little heavy again. There's a somewhat reliable, maybe not, source about 10 miles up from here that we can pull up again before camp tonight. But we'll go ahead and just assume it's not reliable and get it from here. All right, topped off on water. We'll continue on the trail for the day. It's a little afternoon, so I'm going to eat some lunch, and the more that I eat, the lighter my pack gets. So I'll continue on after lunch, and the terrain is much better today. It's more gentle, not as much big climbs and loose rock as yesterday. So I think we're doing all right. But yeah, we'll continue on for lunch. Okay, so back on the trail after eating some lunch. So supposedly there's a water cache of about 5-6 gallons, I'm imagining. Well, I'm guessing because a week ago it was 7 to 8 gallons. Down here at Fletcher Pass. But I say it's not a reliable bet because I know there's at least 5 hikers in front of me. And if everyone's filling up, 3 liters, almost a gallon each, that can go pretty quick. Oh, excuse me. Now there is, I guess, a little bit of some water that's kind of off to the side that's just trickling, but then again, that was reported trickling a couple weeks ago. So I'm just being sparing with my water today because where I'm going to camp tonight is 4 miles from a raging creek. So I think after that, water should be no longer as scarce. So yeah, that's kind of the rundown, and we'll continue making some miles. All right, at the Fletcher Pass trailhead here, supposedly there's a water cache in the spare box here, so we'll see. Moment of truth. All right, let's see. There's still some water. I'll have to check and see if that's water, but it's awesome. Cool. So there's a little something. The Lord provides. I mean that. I was about to fill up with this, and then this amazing couple, a guy named Kit, and I didn't get his wife's name, instead gave me bunch of water, flavored water, and a Coke, and a chicken breast. Just pulled up here to, I don't know, he was gonna take the dogs for a walk, but maybe he didn't park, he just drove off. But nonetheless, this is amazing. And yeah, just what I needed. And then the overcast day and the cooler temperatures is making it where, for not having a lot of water, I'm not having to sweat or work as much. So yeah, I'm gonna eat this and drink all this and top off on water and push on for these last 7 miles. I think I'm wearing out my socks. So from yesterday's rocks, my feet, I don't know, I guess moisture, the socks aren't absorbing the sweat like it should. But yeah, it feels like I'm constantly walking on small rocks that are just grating against my feet. So KT tape. I'm just gonna cover all this up, create a nice little barrier, and throw my sock back on and continue on. Same with the other foot. All right, patched up, full from the chicken, hydrated. Let's go. 8 miles left. All right, so when I was crossing the road, Highway 200, down there at Flesher's Pass, ran into some of the guys, firefighters, I guess forest fire people. They've been working this wildfire. Just actually not too far off the trail west of here, but it was a smaller one. Really nice. They offered me some Gatorade, but I had to turn them down because I already guzzled it might have been it was a big bottle of vitamin water. I mean, you saw it. And I had, why don't I just stop and talk? I'm working my way up. Yeah, the wildfire they're working, I think it was like 214 acres or something. So not super big. They said they were just handling the last bits of it. So, and they didn't say the pass was closed. So, and they watched me walk right up here. So I think all those locals in Helena were just speculating, like I suspected. I haven't heard any news from other hikers or anything about this pass being closed. Because the alternate would have been to road walk down that highway to Lincoln and then take another highway back up. And I hate road walking, so I'm very thankful. But yeah, anyways, it was nice talking with those guys. And they do some good work out here, that's for sure. But we'll keep climbing. Once we're on top, it should be kind of staying on the ridgeline more and not as much climbing. So let's keep going. All right, so I'm gonna get camp set up and eat some dinner. it's been a, well, it's been a good day. My feet are just killing me. So I'm ready to get off them. But it makes for 21 miles. Got a nice view here. Some pine trees blocking the wind a little bit. And a nice big pile of bear scat. So, you know what? We're in bear country. So chances are they're not gonna bother you. And that's why we have bear bags and bear spray and pistols and knives, and if all else fails, just punch them, you know. But yeah, I'm not going any further tonight, so I'll get my camp set up and get some dinner going. Right, got some dinner going. I'm heating up the water for my dehydrated food, and tent's back there. Got a Coke from earlier that I saved for tonight. And yeah, we'll eat, secure our food for the night, and then get in our tent. So that's the plan. All right, perfect timing. It's just starting to rain, so I'm gonna get in my tent. So pretty good day. Tomorrow morning, about 5.5 miles, we'll hit a creek. We can top off on water, and then yeah, I think we're almost out of this dry stretch, and then water should be more abundant. So I'll have to carry so much, and that'll make my pack a little lighter. All in all, good day. And yeah, I'll wrap it up with that.
All right, new morning, time to get up. Let's get moving. Yeah.
Right, just about ready. Just gotta eat my biscuits and gravy, and everything's packed up, and I'll be good to go. So, all right. So we're about 5 miles from our next water source, and then there's one more that's about 9 miles from there, and that's it. So I think, well, maybe 5 to 10 miles into tomorrow. So I think just gonna have to be sparing with the water still. After that, we should be out of this dry stretch. We'll be following a creek for a little bit, so that'll be a nice change. But yeah, it's overcast again today. I'm hoping it stays like this, just so it stays cool. And we'll keep going. I'm feeling a little tired and sluggish this morning, so I need some music to get me going, I think. Usually I wait till the afternoon after any chance of wildlife. In the morning it's mostly gone, but I'm gonna put some on.
Come to decide that the things that I tried were in my life just too sit alone, come get a little known, but I need more than myself this time. Step from the road to the sea to the sky, and I do believe that we rely on when I lay.
Well, it's not the raging creek that I said yesterday, but it's ice cold trickling running water, so I can't complain about that. So I didn't fill up all my water, only because our next water source is about 8.5 miles from here, and that's going to be the one where I fill up everything for the night, because that'll be the last one till the morning. So coming up here, we're about to cross Roberts Pass and continue back up into the mountains that way. All right, I believe I said Roberts Pass. It's actually Rogers Pass. And this sign about Lewis and Clark Pass. Lewis and Clark Pass is actually, we'll pass it on the trail. It's several miles north of here. So, yeah, so I'm gonna walk down to the highway here and find the trail that heads back up. So, yeah, keep going. Okay, I'm gonna take a little bit of a slightly early lunch. It's like 11:50, but these pine trees right here kind of create a nice little barrier from some rain. That's kind of just on and off. So I'll go ahead and eat, and then maybe put on my raincoat since I'm kind of just walking on the level ridge, and it's cold enough. I don't think I'll overheat, but you know, it's always a gamble. You're either sweat a lot or you get wet from the rain. So I'll decide as I eat, and chances are I'll probably wear it. That's the dream one day. I'd love to get a little piece of land that butts up against this national forest and put a little cabin with just the bare necessities kind of right in there. So that'd be beautiful. I know it'd be harsh in winter, and you probably have to get around by snowmobile. But maybe one day. A little yurt. Some other hikers in the comments mentioned that you can stay the night in there. It just never lined up with my mileage. And I'm wondering if they're welding a solar panel platform there to upgrade from the smaller one. I don't really know. I mean, apparently there's a logbook in there. I'm willing to check it out. But on the map, this is kind of a white area, and the green markings of the forest. So from my understanding, that typically means private property. So I'm not sure. Let's take a look. I just checked out the yurt, and Fritz, one of the hikers that passed me, we ran into each other in Helena. I was sitting in there. So I expected him to be in Augusta by now. But yeah, so continuing on, and got about 12 miles left today. Well, we're walking in the clouds for now. Every now and then it still rains just a bit, but I'm getting too hot with my raincoat, so I'm just gonna have what I got. So yeah. just got done raining pretty good. And still cloudy. I think it's gonna be a damp day, especially with my shoes now getting wet from the vegetation. I was hoping to just kind of have more of rocky ground so my shoes didn't get wet, but we kind of have some vegetation, so yeah. Well, that is cool. It's a nice spring. The rain sure helped. I feel like this is the scene from Up, where I'm gonna see a silhouette of a dog and think it's a rock or something, and then it's gonna be a dog or a wolf. It's crazy. I had this really awesome group of day hikers at Lewis and Clark Pass that spared me the mile there and back to go down into the valley to get water. They were almost back up to the end of their hike and had a lot of extra water, so they just topped me off right at the top of the pass and then gave me some Kit Kat bars and string cheese. So I was really thankful for that. Also, it's crazy to think that Lewis and Clark are right in here and separated. Their trip split ways for a bit to rejoin the Yellowstone River. I didn't get to read the sign or placards too much, but this is crazy. Walking in the same areas. You fellas are pretty high up here. You sure you don't want to go back down to the valley? There's probably more water down there. Fog rolled back. I guess the clouds rolled back. That's what's around us. There's a peak over here. Probably another cloud will roll in soon. 2 little grizzly cubs just ran out. So I'm gonna wait just a little bit because Mama might be in one of these trees. There they go. The grizzly cubs. Got my eyes peeled for Mama. They're running up the trail. I bet you I'll see him again. Well, no sign of Mama Bear, so I think we're good. She probably was watching and could probably smell me, but out of mutual respect for how dangerous we both are, she figured it was best to avoid any encounters, so for now we should be good. I mean, I climbed up to the ridgeline now. Got about 2 miles to camp. Boy, am I looking forward to it. It's been a cold and long day. So we'll finish this up and camp. I might camp here on this ridge line. Yeah, I know it's not a lot of protection from the wind, but I'll stake my tent down good and should be alright. So I'm gonna try and get a cool time lapse of clouds coming over the mountain. So going to get that set up. All right, ate dinner in my tent for the night. That wraps up a 21-mile day, and we're sleeping in the clouds tonight. So, yeah. Tomorrow I should be where there's better water, and the ground is gonna follow a river and be more in a valley. So it should be nice not having to climb up and down all the mountains. Which, I mean, their mountains are nice, but they're tiring too. So I'll call it a night and we'll pick up in the morning.
All right. Time to get up. Let's get moving.
All right. On the trail. It's a little after 8. It's a little windy and cloudy, but we won't be up on the mountaintops for the whole day. Mainly half the day. So we'll push on and keep going. There's a beautiful morning shot. These grouseberries or dwarf huckleberries are abundant around here, and they're actually very, very nice, and you get a drink at the same time from the morning dew. Yeah, really nice. You'd almost think that there's a body underneath there, that somebody made a rock grave like the old days. But I'm not curious enough to start pulling off the rocks. And it's probably just for show. There's a nice beautiful blue lake down there, but it's a ways down, so I'll wait till Glacier to camp by the lakes. All right, lunchtime, and we'll continue on here in a bit. It's a little rainy today. Well, at least all the creeks and streams should have water in them. That's what I'm talking about. We're gonna be following a creek for the rest of the day, so water shouldn't be an issue. I think we're out of the dry stretch. Right. We are out of the mountains for a bit. Well, the ridge lines, we're still in the mountains. And kind of this nice, even path here. And we'll turn left up here and follow the river. Dearborn well, I'm sorry, creek, Dearborn Creek, for a ways. And yeah, I'm actually thankful to have some nice flat ground to walk on for a little bit. I remembered what I was gonna say. We're in the Scapegoat Wilderness area. So we're getting close to the Bob Marshall Wilderness, and then from there we hit Glacier National Park. So that's kind of our area that we're walking through. It is the Dearborn River. I'm just reflecting a little bit, thinking. I have 2 weeks left of walking. And one day this is all gonna fade into the back of my memory, and all I'll have is these videos to remember everything and kind of relive it. It's crazy. I am just shy of 250 miles till the end, and I can say I've walked from Mexico to Canada across the Rockies. It seems like ages, and those first 100 miles in Lordsburg in the desert, I didn't know how I'd be able to do it when I thought of 3,000 miles still in front of me. And I love it. I mean, I miss my family, but the sounds of the woods, the views, the birds, even the squirrels barking at me, which the elements, I mean, it's thundering overhead right now, luckily not raining, but there's just a raw beauty to it that I just don't think you can experience any other way than being literally stuck in the elements, and just seeing it firsthand. But yeah, I was just thinking about that as I'm watching these towering cliffs pass by me and hearing all the noises out here. But 2 weeks and I'll be going home. I'm looking forward to that too. That's where the real adventure is, with my wife and kids. And then one day they can experience this too, if my body's still able to endure it. So there's that. Since it's starting to rain on and off a little bit again, I went ahead and stopped here to make some dinner. I'm about 2 miles or so from camp, but I got a nice pine canopy here and a log, so before I get wet and everything, by the time I get to camp, I'm probably just going to set up my tent and get in it. So I'll go ahead and eat and continue on. It's been a rainy day. I got a mile till camp. I'm actually pushing just a bit further tonight so I can get to the benchmark trailhead by 6 p.m. tomorrow in hopes of getting a ride to Augusta. My contact that I've reached out to in Augusta passed my info along to someone else, but hasn't been confirmed yet. So I'll be there by 6. My backup plan, if that falls through, is it's Labor Day weekend, there's campgrounds, offer someone $75 for an hour ride. I don't know. That might be fair. I mean, you probably pay a taxi or Uber that. And someone might jump at that. So, worst case, the person that I reached out to in Augusta will be at the trailhead the following morning between like 10:30 and 11. But that's not ideal for me. I'm trying to get in Saturday night, so tomorrow night. My feet, because of the rain, everything, I'm very curious what they look like when I take my socks off tonight. I feel like they're just like smashed hamburger. I think my socks, I think, are starting to need replaced. If I can't find something in Augusta, if I can't find new socks there, I'll have to suck it up for a week till I get to East Glacier. But I'll treat what I can and push through. So when I get to camp, since I ate early, I'll just set up my tent. It'll be about 8 o'clock by the time I get there, and probably just have a light snack before bed. But that's the plan. If the clouds ever go away, I'd love to do another nighttime lapse with my GoPro, but I don't know if that's going to be the case tonight. Oh, there's a lot of water around here. Maybe we'll find a good camp spot. All right, it's the best I can find. Make the most of it. There's clouds, stream. I'd be surprised if a bear doesn't come through here at night. All right, let's make camp. What did I say? Smashed hamburger. Oh boy, let these bad boys dry out. Hopefully tomorrow's dry day. All right, so I forgot to give a final update. I'm off my feet. They're pretty tender. We did 22.5 miles today, so that we only have 20 tomorrow. Tomorrow, at the end of the day, I'm hoping to get a ride into Augusta. That's my final stop before I push on for a week to East Glacier. So once we get to East Glacier, it's 100 miles to the end. But after today, I'm ready to get into town tomorrow evening and get a bed and a shower and dry out my clothes and everything, because it's been good, but it's been trying. So I'll call it a day, and we'll continue on in the morning. All right. So it's 6 a.m. this morning, so I can get to the trailhead by 6. I woke up at 5, and everything is so damp and wet. My sleeping bag, sleeping mat, tent, it's like condensation overload. So I put on my town socks because they're the only dry pair that I have. And, well, I don't think they're going to stay dry for long. So, we'll be in town tonight, and I'll throw them in the washer, and they'll be clean and dry. So, let's move. All right, I'm gonna stop and take some layers off, and then it only took 15 minutes for my feet to get soaked. So I'm gonna have a quick snack and then continue on. Whew. My feet are soaked. I'm waiting on the sun to come up so that it can dry all this dew and dry off my feet. I was just, something caught my eye here. I'll flip the camera around. I wasn't quite sure what that was, but I guess maybe some caterpillar. I don't know. As you can tell, it's really damp. But that's what caught my eye. All right, had a schedule. It's 10:51, and out of our 20.5 miles, we only have like 9.5 left. I imagine probably around 3 or so. I'll get in to the trailhead. Now, I don't know if I'll get a ride any earlier. If I still have to wait till 6, but I'll at least try. So, yeah, doing good. I guess it takes getting passed up, you know, to kind of kick you in gear, make you walk a little faster. Also, the thought of getting these miles over with so I can change out of my shoes and socks that are still wet, because I don't have any dry ones or fresh ones. That's a little motivating factor too. So, doing good. Just under 2 miles from the benchmark trailhead to Augusta, and that leaves us with 1 week to East Glacier, 136 miles, and that's it. That's the final resupply before the end. So we're doing good. We're making it, and it's these 6-7 day stretches get long, but we're almost there. I'm getting excited, so I'll rest up and get everything dried off in Augusta, resupply, and then push on to East Glacier.